Welcome to Web3 and Me, presented by FLOLiO. On today's show, Dan and I are going to be recapping the last week in the NFT market, including the meteoric rise of DigiDaigaku Genesis, BAYC at the VMAs, the y00ts project, which is the most highly anticipated NFT drop of the quarter by a mile, as well as everything else that's been going on. Before we get started, please like today's stream, subscribe to our channel, and head to FLOLiO.com, FLOLiO.com, for all of your NFT market needs. Dan, how was your weekend? We were just chatting about the F1 race. I know you're excited to see your fellow countryman Max Verstappen get another win. How are we feeling on this Monday?
Good, good. Yeah, like you mentioned, the race was pretty entertaining to watch. Probably kind of boring for everyone else because, just the kind of usual Max Verstappen just kind of driving, just kind of cruising, winning everything. NFT market-wise, there's been some interesting developments, like what's the name, like Daigaku or something.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere, and now they had like a 14 ETH floor or something. So there's definitely some interesting stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, overall volume wise, the market was just super dead over the weekend. Like if we look at the daily volume, it was like I think 10 million on Saturday, which is really bad. Yesterday was 12 million. Today it's already at 11, which I think a lot of that is due to DigiDaigaku.
Yeah.
And so we're just seeing, things are slow, as has become the norm. Like when there's a huge sell off in the ETH market, the NFT market kind of panics, which to me, I'm just like, okay, give me a chance to buy ETH cheaper and then I can deploy some of
Yeah.
that into NFTs. But not everyone thinks that way. That's just my dumb brain. So who knows if that's right or not. But, hopefully we see a little bit of increased NFT, marketplace activity. We had Renga Black Box sold out over the weekend. We'll talk about that more later. A lot of interesting discussions around creator royalties.
Mm.
Let's start off and let's look at, because we haven't done a marketplace show since last Monday. We had a bunch of good interviews last week that took up a lot of time. So I hope people have watched those or will go back and watch those. But if we look at the 7 day, I mean, you got Bored Ape at the top, and then you got DigiDaigaku right behind it, which, this was a free mint, like a stealth mint that has a very low supply of only, I think, 2,000 and has run up to an incredible 15 ETH
Yeah.
floor. It's been pretty wild to see this. Like if we look at the data, unique owners is slowly going up. It was 35% earlier today. It's slowly rising, and we can see that it has been in this range, and volume has gone crazy. We've already seen 2,000 ETH traded in it today alone.
Wow.
This floor price. Look at this floor price chart. I
Zoom.
mean, it is just. I heard about this on a show I listened to on Twitter when the floor was like 1 ETH. I didn't think anything of it. It's like slowly trended up, and then if we see today, when that announcement came out that they've raised $200 million to build out their game, the floor price just shot up, and it's hanging out right now. It got up to 16 and a half right about, and now it's at 15, and the supply is low, so another floor sweep, and this could be almost a 20 ETH floor, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is it is it possible to look up like the seed round? Like was it has it been public all this time? Like I wonder.
I'm not sure because I know that it was announced that they had raised the money
Yeah.
today, but the seed round happened a while ago, is what you were telling me. So why don't you get into? Let's use this as a chance to get into DigiDaigaku a little bit further. So why don't you tell me everything that you've learned about the project?
Yeah. I look. I was just like kind of looking them up because like of course you have to talk about them, right? Like it's impossible to have a like a market recap and then suddenly leave this free mint project, which had an 11 ETH floor when I was writing this. And then I had to write underneath, actually, just kidding, it's currently 14 ETH, and now it's actually 15 ETH. Um, so it was weird because they made like an announcement saying, yeah, we have a 200 million seed round, like by this and this person, and like a bunch of like cool information, which seems real. Like it seems real, but like personally, I'm unfamiliar with seed rounds, so I'm not sure if this is like public stuff that you can just look up. But it's allegedly been done like almost a year ago, like 8 months ago, and I assume that you should be able to look that up, right? So I wonder if all these people in this project just didn't do their research, because then it would have already gone up more, right? Like I guess a lot of people they weren't aware. Like I mean me neither because I wasn't even aware that project existed in the first place. And yeah, you're right. So it had their floor price was like 1 ETH on day one, which is still like a lot for an surprise mint. And their Twitter account has like not too many followers either, so that was kind of surprising. Um, and they had like a stealth mint and an unverified contract, so it's very sketchy because people who minted just had to take their word for it, right? They couldn't actually verify whether or not it was a healthy contract that's not gonna like completely pull all their wallets empty. But let's be real, who actually does check the contract to see, well, oh, I hope it's not gonna rug me. You just mint with your hot wallet and then hope they don't take your like shitty NFTs.
Just click and pray, man. Click and pray.
Yeah, so the two founders, Halbert Nakagawa and Gabriel Layden, they both founded this company like, God, maybe like 10 years ago or something. I forgot the exact year. And they made free-to-play mobile games. And they made a game called Game of War Fire Age, where they generated over $3 billion in revenue. Mobile Strike, where they generated over $1.4 billion in revenue. And then Final Fantasy, what is that, 15? I can't read letters.
15. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. I did it.
Roman
numerals.
The term is Roman numerals, Dan.
Roman numerals. Final Fantasy 15 and New Empire, based on the license from Square Enix, and they also had over $1 billion in revenue. And then they got bought out like 2 years ago by a company called AppLovin. So they're like big boys, right? Like it's pretty interesting to see what they're gonna do with this. And it's not like I doubt this is like a bad thing for the NFT market. Like it's always good to have, new people coming in, people that want to push the scene further. But it just makes me wonder because they already have an airdrop on the 2nd of September. Like what the hell
So
are
I
you doing?
saw that, and if they raised this money a while ago, they've probably been, and we still can't find documentation of it. Like normally, like every time that someone raises that kind of money in the NFT or crypto space, there's a press release, there's information. So it's really weird. Maybe they were just keeping it under wraps because they didn't want to, blow the lid off this yet. But the, Gabriel Layden has been all over my Twitter feed this morning, and I can't tell if I hate this guy or like this guy. It's very open at the moment. He took a shot at, I think, Yuga, about how, like, imagine doing a metaverse land and not giving it for free to your holders, which if he was referencing Yuga, he's just wrong because BAYC and MAYC holders did get a free piece of land.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's talking about. But my thought is that maybe this airdrop on Friday is a piece of land in whatever universe they're building. Like, they've been building it out for a while now, and they have the money, and he made that tweet, and now he tweets about an airdrop. That would make sense. I'm not saying it's good or not, but that would make sense to me.
Yeah,
do I think it's worth the floor price of 15 ETH right now? Hell no. Like, am I kicking myself for not buying this project earlier? Yes. Am I FOMOing into it? Absolutely not.
The thing that also confused me is they had like a Twitter poll on the guy's like Twitter account where they're like, what should we do? Should we have an airdrop? Should we give you guys like fanny packs? Like I'm unsure if they're like memeing, but like obviously the airdrop had the highest amount of votes, but I mean everyone could vote, so it had like 500 votes, and people are like, yeah, we want airdrop. So I don't know. The land thing is so overplayed. I personally think it's just going to be primarily just the other side, like leading the charge, and then some other projects trying to like cash in on what they're doing. I think. I doubt that there's going to be many projects actually using the land and contesting anyone, because it is kind of like you want to have the metaverse, right? You want to have the project with the land. Like it's kind of hard to have, like not every project can have land and be successful. So I don't know if I would like it if they would just be like, okay, Twitter poll, oh, you guys want airdrop? Okay, land, But maybe it is land. Maybe the asset has been, maybe the art has been created like a month ago, and everything has been thought out. And I'll be surprised. I hope that is the case, because we need some new big shot project that's absolutely like blowing everything out of the water. That would be really good for the scene. So you got Facebook are our choices. I think so, yeah. I don't know about Facebook.
He keeps talking about free to own.
Yeah.
And I think that's, that could be something exciting that gets more, like we've talked forever about how like NFTs and gaming are a good fit, but gamers hate NFTs. How do we change that?
Yeah.
And if free to own and whatever they're building over there is a way to do that, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So, we have to be open to like some new things, and I hope this is the case. I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff going on right now. He also talked in one of his things about like creator royalties, which kind of goes into what we learned from X2Y2 late last week, which is they are removing mandatory royalties and making it donation based on their platform. They, there was a little bit of pushback on that, so they had a subsequent tweet discussing how they're going to let the communities behind some of these collections kind of have a voice in that. It doesn't seem like they have a good structure here. They're kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And, with that is a cascading effect of, if you follow any like the sales boss on Twitter for, whether it's Bored Ape Yacht Club, Moonbirds, whatever, a lot more transactions are happening on X2Y2 because of the fact that they only have a 0.5% marketplace fee compared to 2.5% OpenSea, 2% on LooksRare. Now, if they remove a collections royalty fee and make it donation based, that's going to drive even more traffic to their site. So then, does LooksRare and OpenSea need to change their royalty structure? Because the creator royalties, it's built onto the site, but it's not really enforceable from a contract standpoint, from what I understand, which is not a ton. I'm just going off of what I hear from other people that you don't have to enforce artist or creator royalties, which I think for some of these PFP projects, do they deserve royalties? I'm not sure. Do artists deserve royalties? 100%. I don't really see how you could argue against that. So it's a really weird situation, and I'm wondering if it's going to drive OpenSea to have to pivot when they don't want to.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty hard conversation because I think there's many sides to it. Like, I think for sure artists should deserve royalties. For larger projects, I think it really depends. Like, I think it's near criminal to mint out like a 10K project for 1 ETH and then still ask for like a 10% cut of all the sales. Like, I think it's all like a little bit much, right? I would prefer to live in a world where it's like a free mint, but then the royalties are 10% or even higher, right? Like, I personally couldn't care less if it's a free mint with a 20% like fee on the sale, as long as it's a free mint, right? I think I would prefer projects to earn their cut by having sales as opposed to having a really really high mint price, like cashing in on all the mints and then just having a low fee. I would prefer the first case, I think.
I agree. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Let's get into y00ts. So y00ts has been one of the talks of Twitter over the last few weeks now. It is going to be the companion project to DGods, which is the highest floor Solana project. So DGods is traded of upwards of 500 SOL, which I don't know what that is in ETH right now. Like, I think at one point it was 11 and a half or so.
Oh yeah, sounds
ETH.
Right. Yeah.
So it's past the floor price of CloneX, Azuki, Doodle. It's getting close to Mutant Apes and Moonbirds. So a lot of support there. The project has had I've been researching it more and more. They've done some cool stuff. They've been around for almost a year now. They've tried some things, hasn't worked out. Frank, who is the founder of it, he is very well respected across all of NFTs, not just Solana. Seems like a very forward-thinking guy. So this y00ts thing, you have to apply to it. There's an application. They call it the scholarship, which you still have to buy it. So I don't know really how it's a scholarship, because scholarships give you money, but whatever. So you had to apply to it. If you got accepted, they sent out a congratulatory tweet, which has built out a ton of excitement. So I think that's a really sharp idea on their part. Well done there. There's been a ton of celebrities who have been getting accepted to it. Former professional soccer player or football player over there, Wayne Rooney, Allen Iverson, Howie Mandel, a lot of well-known, influencers from both NFT Twitter and other platforms. So I don't know how much these people are going to actually contribute to the y00ts community, because that was one of the things that they were talking about was it's a community of people who are going to be here. I don't know how involved those people are going to be. It's also interesting seeing the people who are DGODs holders who are like getting all excited about these celebrities joining, but we're then talking shit about Bored Ape Yacht Club getting celebrities in. So it just kind of goes to show you how ridiculous the NFT space is when it comes to pumping our own bags. But I think it's getting a ton of hype. It seems like you have to buy in the native token, which is called Dust. It's going to cost $375. That token has seen a increase in price similar to what ApeCoin saw before the other side, and I don't see how it's not going to have a similar fate to where the minting process is going to happen on Friday and the token's value is going to plummet. I mean, Frank has come out and said that he's going to have another announcement that about everything. I don't know how many announcements he can have in a row though that continues to sustain the value. So if I didn't get a scholarship spot because I didn't even apply for it because I just whatever. But I don't see how anyone holding more than the necessary 375 dust is going to continue to retain value to that after, the sale happens on Friday.
Yeah, I have seen this scenario play out before.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything last time, and I won't do anything. I won't do anything this time either. But my lord, that's gonna be a little bit brutal, I think, on Mint. There's gonna be so many people that are like, "What's this token? Oh, it's pumping. You know what? I'll buy into it." And then 2 days later, the minting happens, and it's like plummets,
yeah,
and then you can see all the comments on like CoinGecko or like what is it, like Coin Market Cap or something. What is
yeah.
this scam? I bought this and I already lost half my money, and now I have to mortgage my house. Something like the comments are always so funny. I don't know. I'm looking for it. I like seeing, even though I don't have like the huge list or like the white list to it. I'm still looking for it. I like at this point in time, I don't even care about like making money. I just want to see some action in the scene, man, because it's been so dead and boring for so long. So
It's been 100%.
I like some action.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. Like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to get a Ute. I'm not going to buy it on secondary because it's probably going to be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
congratulations to anyone who got a spot but at the same time, like, are people going to really sell a ton of them? Because there's like, if you're only getting one and it's going to carry value, like, I think supply could be low, so floor price could be high. So I think it's a win for the people who are getting one. And it is something like new, kind of, to the NFT space, and at least like it's getting more attention on, Solana, which I think is good to have more than just Ethereum NFTs. So I think it's overall like a very big positive for the space. I hope it plays out well, and the minting goes well, and they can figure out a way to continue to drive value to the coin so that it doesn't take a nosedive like ApeCoin did after other side sale.
Yeah, that's why it's a little bit. It's hard, right? Like, it must be a tough decision to be like to have a token, and then minting your second project with the token, and hope nobody gets like wrecked in the process, right? If you were to just have it in ETH, then there's no inherent like risk of people getting destroyed, other than the fact that the floor might collapse or something, right? But that doesn't really have much to do with Ethereum in general. So I wonder. I might look into it a bit. I don't know anything about the project either, or the gods. I haven't really looked into it. I can see it maybe. What do you think is acceptable for a floor? Maybe like 5. No, well, I think it's right now around 5 ETH, right? Oh wait, no, that's way more because ETH like got destroyed. The main project, DGODs.
Oh no, it was like close to 12 ETH at one point.
Yeah, I think I saw it at like between 14 and 20k USD. So I wonder what it is right now. I also wonder if we're gonna see the 1-to-5 ratio, the notorious 1-to-5 ratio on second.
Yeah, it's gonna. I want to say it's gonna be a 15,000 supply, so not quite a 2-to-1 supply. So we could see it a little bit closer. Right now, actually, the floor on DGODs is 580 Sol.
What is that in USD?
I have no idea. But it's the floor is like picked back up, and I could see it being 100 Sol floor for the Utes after mint, and I would expect that the DGODs floor is going to come back down. That's just how it always plays out. I don't know what they can do, on the team side to prevent that from happening. So I think you just have to kind of assume that's going to be what happens there. We can move on. So last night we saw the Bored Apes go a little bit more mainstream. Snoop Dogg and Eminem performed at the MTV Video Music Awards. Their performance took place, part of it in the other side, with their apes as as their avatars, and they were in the other side. They were in front of the yacht club for a little bit. Coda's featured heavily in it. There's been so much hate on it today, which is not surprising at all, because it's it's NFT Twitter, but both non-NFT people and NFT people have been hating on it. At this point, as an ape holder, I don't care. People are gonna say what they want to say. Did I think it was the highest quality thing ever made? No. It was from what I can tell, they were doing it they were performing live, and their apes were performing in the other side at the same time. So I think people didn't maybe realize that. And then they did come out on stage and do part of the performance live. So it was more exposure, which if we're trying to take NFTs mainstream and you're just going to hate on exposure for them, and people maybe trying to wonder, what are these things? Why are Snoop and Eminem, so heavily involved in them? I think, at this point we're trying to go mainstream. So I don't know why people are hating and being so negative, but I guess if that's how you want to do it, so be it.
The worst part is I will never understand these non NFT people that are I wonder how many people were oh, that's a cool performance. Oh, it's NFT. I hate this shit. I hate it immediately. Yeah. It's so, I don't know. For some reason it has been broadcast into their brains of you need to hate anything NFT. You don't even look into its source. Trust me, bro. You need to hate NFTs. Yeah. It's really weird. I wonder where is this negative sentiment coming from? It used to be so innocent back in the day. It's bad for the environment. Those days were the good old days. Now it's so ingrained in their minds. I wonder why.
That's still part of it. I think people saw how much money others were making and were nope, this is garbage. I don't want to be a part of it. It's just a Ponzi, which it's hard to argue that some of these things aren't a Ponzi. I'll give you that. Mm-hmm. I don't think all of them are, but there have definitely been plenty of Ponzi's along the way. So I think it takes time. It just goes to show you that people are oh, we're not as early as we thought. Yes, we are. We're still very early to this. There's still a long ways to go. Buckle up, because it's going to be many years before more people become accepting of NFTs. So I don't know. I think right now NFT Twitter is such a negative place. I'm kind of finding myself spending less and less time there, because it's just not fun anymore. Everyone is, most people are down so bad that they just want to try to tear everything else down that they don't have exposure to, because they think it's going to help their stuff, which is just very short-sighted. So I think it was good exposure. I think it's getting NFTs out in front of more people. And if you want to talk shit about it, I don't know, go fly a kite. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, and
it's just getting annoying.
And it's guaranteed that this brings new people into the scene anyway. I don't know how many people it would bring into the scene, but you cannot argue that no one got into NFTs because of the video or the performance. Yeah. So it's good, at least. It's a net positive, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's going to keep, we're going to keep getting more people involved, I hope. So, that's kind of all I have to say about that. Tomorrow's a big day for Moonbirds, another one of the top tier NFT projects. The Future Proof presentation, led by Kevin Rose and team, is going to take place at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're used to Eastern, you got to do a little bit of backward engineering there. So 10 a.m. Pacific time. It's going to be on Twitter Spaces and YouTube, and they're going to show, what comes next for Moonbirds. There's been discussion, they're going to be talking about Project High Rise, which is kind of their, social metaverse. There's a lot of anticipation. I mean, I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well for the holders. It seems like we're seeing, once again, expectations are so high that if something crazy doesn't happen, people are going to be disappointed. And I feel like we just never learn. This happened with Moonbird, with the oddities, when the team said that hey, this is not supposed to be some super expensive thing, but they were still going for 4 or 5 ETH at one point, and then everyone was disappointed. So I don't know. I'm not a holder, so I'm just kind of going to be paying attention to it, because I pay attention to everything in the NFT space. But it seems like people are expecting a shit ton. Kevin Rose has said that you're going to want to have your Moonbird nested tomorrow. So people have taken that to mean like, oh, we're going to get the Ravens airdrop, which is going to be, the next part of the ecosystem, or we're going to get the token, which I think is crazy for a project that is, only 4 months old to be doing a
Yeah.
token drop already. I think that's a bit much, but expectations are sky high again, and I don't know what is going to make people happy, that can be delivered realistically.
Yeah, I mean that's always the hard part, right? Like you want to create hype, but you don't want to like oversell it a bit, because like at one point something becomes so big that that nothing could ever live up to the expectations. And yeah, I don't know about a token drop. I don't even know about another project. It's gonna be. I wonder. It depends. I think there's gonna be a lot of unhappy people, like regardless of what happens.
Yeah, it's there's even more pressure on it based off of what happened with the CCO decision earlier this
Mm-hmm.
month. So a lot of pressure seems to be on the team right here, and we'll see if they can deliver on it. There was along the same lines with Proof, they had the Grails, which was the second season of Grails. So for those who don't know, if you owned one of the 1,000 original Proof passes, or if you owned a Moonbird with the Grails trait, you received a mint pass, and you were able to choose from a selection of art, and you didn't know who the artist was. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a cool game theory thing where you could choose any one of these, and at a set time they would shut down the site, so you couldn't choose any longer. And then they did a whole like show where they revealed who each piece was. The highest selling one was one created by the artist Snowfro, who is the creator of Chromie Squiggles, is one of the founders of Art Blocks. So that was really cool. Like Proof is doing some cool stuff. They have
Mm-hmm.
connections. They have the ability to deliver on these things. It's at this point, can they make up for what went wrong before? I think yes. Will the community be reasonable and give them the time they need to execute on these things? That remains to be seen.
Yep. And once again, hoping for good things. It's not good to see like a big project take a pretty big hit, like Moonbirds, for example. But still, I hope they keeping on and keep on not giving people fanny packs.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like I'm kind of back to rooting for almost everyone to succeed. Everyone that's not a rug puller, right?
Mm-hmm.
So any like legitimate, docs team, because I'm still not a fan of anonymous teams, but like any of these teams that are trying to do stuff, like I'm kind of just cheering them all on right now, because we've had such an extended period of the market being down and boring and negative that I'm just like ready to have fun with NFTs again. So that's just kind of the approach I'm taking at this point.
Yeah.
We can look at some other projects as well. We had Gutter Cat Gang. We're still waiting on news from them. This is supposed to be a big quarter for Gutter Cat Gang. We only got 1 month left in the quarter. So we did get a development on Saturday. They created a Twitter account for their gang coin, which we saw Bored Ape Yacht Club also do with ApeCoin before that launched back in March. And it's not surprising, because Horizon Labs, who is part of ApeCoin and who's doing the ApeCoin staking, is also working with Gutter Cat Gang on their token. We don't have details on when it's going to be released, how much each species is going to get. Are the clones going to get any? Is there a multiplier? There's all this speculation out there. We don't have answers yet. I'm currently holding all of my Gutter Cat assets. None of them are listed for sale. I'm just kind of hanging out with them. I'm considering buying more, like just because I do think that it's going to be worthwhile. I have a full set, and then I have a pigeon and a rat, and I'm considering buying another dog and cat and trying to finish off another set and give myself a higher chance at more token. But it's a really tough time, in my opinion, to be dropping a token.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this before where when the market is not doing well, both crypto and NFTs, what's the first thing that people are going to sell? They don't want to necessarily sell their NFTs, but they'll sell a token to get some money if they got to pay bills, if they want to move money to other projects. So I don't envy anyone who was planning on releasing a token, and now we're in this just awful market.
I mean, like Cool Cats, their token is almost worth zero. So that's why it's like, in the end of the day, it is a utility token, right? Like they're not like I don't think they're legally allowed to say like this is our token, money. It's gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is used in our ecosystem to enable like utility, but still, like it does have like like monetary value, even though it's not
Hmm.
pushed by the team. Um, but yeah, it's a hard time. It's a hard time to be pushing tokens. Like you mentioned, people whenever they go through a time like this, they look at their portfolio and they're like, what can I like sell but still feel good like being invested in? And then it's more often than not going to be like, oh right, I still have like this token, right, this currency.
Yeah. Another Twitter account was also created on Saturday that goes along with this called Gutter Picks, which the bio says it's a Web3 daily fantasy sports platform powered by Gangcoin. So I don't know if you know what
Oh,
daily fantasy sports are, Daniel. Um, I've played a ton of like DFS, which was DFS is short for daily fantasy sports. Played a ton of like football over the years, and so if they have a platform for daily fantasy sports that's transacted in Gangcoin, I think that's a really interesting use case. The legality behind that, I'm sure, has been very tough to get through
yeah,
because here in the United States, like gambling is still, you got to jump through a ton of hoops. So I'll
sports
be interested to
betting.
see how they can pull this off with DFS, and I think that would be a really cool differentiator from other NFT projects that have coins.
Yeah, no, I think so for sure. And that's like you create like a fantasy team, right? Like I'm kind of unexperienced in this whole thing, but it's like you can pick like you have like a money pool, and then you pick like players, right? And then if they perform well,
Yeah,
you get like points.
so you have a salary cap, and you have to build a roster of a set number of players and
Yeah,
positions. And you just stay under the cap. They actually have it for F1 as well, where you can like choose. Each racer has a salary, and you have to build a team of racers, and you get points based off of where they finish. How long they lead, how many
well, that's
people they
easy.
pass, all these different things.
Just go
Well,
max step
it's easy in
and
hindsight. Yeah,
just go max step. He's gonna
that's
win. He's gonna win everything anyway.
Yeah, but then if you use up like most of your salary to pay for max, you gotta like go, bottom of the barrel for everyone else, and then you have all the guys from like Alpine and Haas and all
Yeah.
these other, Alfa Romeo teams that aren't doing too great. So there's a lot of game theory to it. It's a lot of fun. Like during NFL season, I've played a ton of DFS, so we'll see how that works out. A few more projects to discuss. I'm gonna let you take the next two. So what is Outsad?
Before I get into outside a little bit, I just wanted to say like give a random news fact. And of
Okay,
course, it has to be about Wolf Game, because I gotta pump my bags every now and then. Here we go again.
pump it up, Dan.
I'm not
Pump
gonna
those
do too much
bags.
chilling, but so seed phrase, he sweep the land again of Wolf Game, and I was like, okay, he does this every now and then. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Like, how much does he have? This guy currently has 750 assets of this Wolf Game land, which equates to 300 ETH. It's so crazy. Like, I don't know where people are getting this money from. But I figured it was interesting to share. 300 ETH worth of Wolf Game land. That's like
It's a lot of
60
land.
apes.
That's not 60 apes.
Maybe it is in a week. Okay, you never know.
That's
But
like
yeah,
four
about
apes.
yeah, for now. And so talking about Outset NFT, I also don't know much about this project because I was looking at FLOLiO.com, our trending page, looking on fly, and it said there's this trending project called Outset NFT, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I look at the floor, it's like zero point 0.4, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty significant floor, right? So I go to their Twitter, it's all like Chinese stuff. So I'm like, what the hell is this, right? Because there seems to be like a more of a resurgence of like Chinese projects that have like huge communities behind them, and it makes sense because I'm not gonna somehow be in the loop of like a Chinese project like building, right? Like, how am I supposed to be in this community? Because I literally cannot speak the language. So they appear to be doing pretty well, and just figured I would share the information a little bit. I know absolutely nothing about them, but hey, the floor is or was point 0.4, and it's cool to see some more Chinese projects going crazy.
Okay. How about potatoes? Let's talk.
Yeah. So
Keep
yeah,
talking about potatoes. So let's keep it going.
yeah. Keep it going. Yeah. There we go again about the potatoes. Yeah. So I think last time I talked, I mentioned that they were going to have their raffle next week, and next week being a little bit earlier today. Um, and their prices are pretty significant, but it's a little bit hard because it's only significant because their own NFTs are worth something. So, because like, let's say if the floor of potatoes was like 0, and the MVP floor is like a higher tier of like holding is also 0, then there's 0 ETH in prices, right? So, but currently this week they gave out 50 to 100 ETH worth of prices, so that's pretty insane. And they're saying how they're gonna try to keep this up. And I didn't win, so it's rigged. Like that's for sure. Unfortunate. No, but it's really cool because they have verified the rewards, the pulling, like the raffle through Chainlink, so they can show you that it's like legit. Like it's not like some guy behind the scenes being like, "Ah, my friends, I'm gonna give you all the rewards, and we're gonna pretend like it's a giveaway or like a raffle." So you can actually go in and check the um, the randomness, right? It's like verifiable random something. So that's cool. So yeah, I love seeing that I didn't get absolutely destroyed, like because of some scam. That's always great. And the floor hasn't done too poorly. I don't think it has moved since before the raffle results and then after. 'Cause that's always like pretty. This is the first like milestone, right? So a lot of people, you would think if they don't win, they're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna just sell it, right? Like, it's not like I'm actually gonna win. So like, what was I even thinking? But we actually didn't see too much of people listing after they saw they didn't win anything. So maybe that's a pretty good sign.
Okay. Finally, we had over the weekend, Renga Black Box had their final mint for the 2.5 thousand remaining boxes. So we've been talking about Renga forever because we were
Yeah,
also talking about Art of Seasons a while
yeah.
ago. So back in June, if you held an Art of Seasons, for every one piece you held, you received an airdrop of one box. The vast majority are the black boxes, but there are some other higher rarity ones as well. So this last weekend, they did the mint where 2.5K went for sale for zero point 0.4 ETH. They all sold out. At the time, the floor was around like 0.45, so it went for just under floor. Current floor 0.56. There's been a lot of activity on them. You know, if we look at the supply, all 10K have been minted. 9,400 are the black boxes, leaving another 600, which is pretty rare to be the other ones we have. You know, Robot, Double Agent, Gold, Motor Corp, Ninjas, all this cool stuff. It's an interesting dynamic that we already, going into the reveal, which we're still not sure when that's going to be.
Mm.
There's some rumors I've heard that it's going to be like they did the previous airdrop on June 22nd because it was a summer solstice. That because of the relation to Art of Seasons, the next
Yeah.
one will take place in September for autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it. And so that's been one speculation, meaning we still have a few more weeks to go before these are revealed. They've been building out the story. They launched their website, Renga.app. I'll pull it up real quick. It's a really nice looking website. And with that same announcement, they also, if you see here on the site, we can see down in the bottom right here, powered by We New Inc.,
Oh.
which is the company behind
Yeah.
10KTF that was founded by Beeple and Gaio Siri. Wagme-san's Twitter account, if you're new, that's the mascot for 10KTF, the spokesman, if you will. He put out a tweet that you're going to be able to put your Renga characters on the 10KTF blanks and have those wearables, which I think should look pretty cool. There's some really awesome Renga art here. So the website looks good. There's more information about what they're trying to build from a storytelling standpoint. They've been doing that leading up to the black box sale. There's like this comic strip. You and I have talked about this before, but it sold out, which was good. The volume has been solid. The floor didn't like crash below mint price. And I'm holding a couple of the black boxes. I have 3 of the more rare ones as well because I think that those are going to look pretty cool, and we'll see what happens to the value there. I just like the way that the art looks, so I'm not
Yeah.
really like in a rush to sell them or anything. So yeah, I think could be another really cool project that gets some excitement going.
It's gonna be metaverse land in the boxes.
It's that we know for a fact it's not
It
going to
is.
be metaverse land in the boxes. Thank God.
I hope so. I hope so. That would be probably like the worst surprise of like 2022. To imagine they'll be like, yeah, guys, metaverse, we're gonna do it, right? And everyone's like, no, no, no.
Why
not
are you
again.
doing this? Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened with black boxes over the weekend. We will see, like I said, how that plays out and what kind of relationship they have with 10KTF going forward.
Yeah, interesting. I love seeing anything we knew. So let's see.
Yep. And then for anyone who's involved in 10KTF, the next missions for Battletown will be going live for you to register here in the coming hours. I participated, for the first time in the 3 missions last week. I'll be jumping into the 3 missions this week. It goes live here in a little over 2 hours. So, I think once again, it's fun being a part of these projects that are actually doing something different and trying new things, and not just talking about floor price going up and all this other stuff that like long term doesn't matter and it's just meant to drive more money into the team's pockets.
Amen.
Amen. All right, Dan, any final words for the people before we head on out of here?
Final words. Artifact has tweeted something. If someone's interested in checking that out, it's something about their Clone X forging season. Something about their Clone X fashion avatar you can unlock. Unsure. I haven't read through the tweet yet. So if you're a holder, it might be interesting to check out.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for today. Once again, everybody, thank you for watching. Please like today's show. Subscribe to our channel. We got content coming out Monday through Friday. Drop a comment. We love to hear what everyone has to say about the show. Any things that you'd like to hear more about, we'll gladly talk about them. Head to FLOLiO.com. So for Dan, for the rest of the team at FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Have a great week, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.